It is time for our children's message, and I am so glad to see all these children of God here this morning. How many of you know the story of Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day? Several of you do, but I bet you don't know the story of Peter and the disciples and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I am going to tell you the story, but first, I need your help. Whenever I say, it was a, you're going to respond with a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Let's try it. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Awesome! You catch on very quickly. Well, in this particular story, Peter and several other disciples are on the beach by the Sea of Galilee. They have seen Jesus since he rose from the dead, but he is not there with them. And many of their friends, the other disciples, aren't there either. They're kind of down and dejected and don't know what to do with themselves. So Peter says, I'm going fishing. And the others say, okay, we'll go too. Because they didn't have anything else to do. It was kind of a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. But they got into the boat and went fishing because this is what they did before they even met Jesus. So they know how to fish, right? Well, they were out all night long. And do you know how many fish they caught? None. 0. And it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Then they saw someone on the shore, couldn't tell who it was. And this person dared to say, you haven't caught any fish, have you? It was bad enough not to have caught any fish, but to have somebody point it out and rub it in, it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And Peter looked at the shore, and there was a charcoal fire. And that charcoal fire, reminded Peter of a not very good time in his life. It was after Jesus was arrested and was going to be tried, and Peter followed at a distance, but he didn't go into where the trial was happening. He stood outside and warmed himself by a charcoal fire. And just like Jesus had said would happen, he was asked if he was a disciple. And he said no, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And Peter was very ashamed about that. And it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And this person on the beach decided to give them advice about fishing. Them, professional fishermen. They know their craft, they know what they're doing. How could somebody think that they knew better than the disciples? They felt it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. The person said, throw the net on the other side of the boat. They thought that's a ridiculous idea. Why would that matter? But since they didn't have anything else to do, they tried it. And you know what? They caught fish. They caught lots and lots of fish. They caught 153 fish. And it wasn't a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That was until the net started to rip because there were too many fish for them even to haul in. Maybe it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. But that's not the end of the story. Do you know who that person on the beach was? Jesus! And Jesus made them breakfast. And so it wasn't a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Amen. Thank you for your help.